Hello guys, my name is Aman Ahmad. I'm a legal intern at Lexis & Company and I'm pursuing 3 years law faculty of Delhi University and I am in my second year. So the topic of today's video is the concept of contempt of parliamentary houses in India. So what constitutes a contempt if we ask ourselves? So there are some of the ways. So first of all, if we are causing an obstruction in the conduct of the proceedings of the house, so that is a contempt. So if you are also causing an obstruction in the performance of functions of any officer or member of the house, that is a contempt. And any other act that directly or indirectly has any such effect, so that is a contempt. So proceedings against contempts are very important because the nation cannot function properly if the parliament or its member are unable to perform their duties in a efficient and a respectable manner. So the constitution has granted some provision regarding it, so that deals with privileges granted to the parliament and its member. So some of the provisions are, first is the article 105 of the constitution, which enumerates multiple powers and privileges that are vested in the parliament and its member. These include like freedom of speech in the parliament, immunity from any proceeding in the court with respect to anything said or any vote given by the member of the parliament, immunity from any proceeding in any court against the publication of any report, votes or any type of paper by or authority of the parliament. So one such landmark is also the Tej Kiran Jain versus Sanjeev Reddy of 1970 case. The Supreme Court observed that anything and everything said by a member in the parliament during the course of the business of the parliament is protected and is a member is immune from any action regarding the same by or any a court in the country. So even the Supreme Court in the High Court, the member are having immunity to function efficiently. So next is the section article 122 of the constitution. Restriction is placed on the powers of the judiciary to inquire into the proceedings of the parliament. So this section has a negative connotation. So the restrictions are like, for example, the court can inquire into the validity of the proceeding of the parliament on the ground of irregularity in the conduct of the proceedings, like the procedure of the parliamentary procedure. This cannot be done by the code. So also the inquiry into the person or officer authorized to regulate the conduct of the business and procedure of the parliamentary proceeding. Thus the court cannot inquire into this. This section provides a bar to the judiciary to interfere in the matter of the legislative. So next is the article 361A, which deals with publication of the parliament proceeding. So according to this constitution states that any person can publish the proceedings of the parliament. Subject to such publication have to be a true report of the proceeding made without any malice. So however, publication of any secret proceeding of the parliament or any state legislature is prohibited. So now the code of civil procedure of 1908 also prescribes some section like the section 135A, which provides protection to the members of the parliament and the state legislature against arrest and detention in the circumstances like during the continuance of the proceedings in the parliament or state legislature, or during the continuance of the proceeding of any committee of the member of the parliament or the state legislature, or 40 days before or after the joint sitting of the both houses of the parliament or the state legislature, and also the state legislative council. So in 1966 case also, the Supreme Court held that if a member of the parliament was arrested under the provision of the Preventive Detention Act, the right to attend the proceeding and cast a vote cannot be claimed by a member. So next, the breach of privilege. The concept of breach of privilege can be defined as any act that is a violation of the privileges vested in the member of the parliament or the parliament itself. So some of the breaches are withholding communication from a member in the custody, or imputing motives to the member, or libel and slander in the legislative process, or assault on members of the parliament, or disturbance from the visitors gallery, making a misleading statement in the house, or so these are some of the problems that can be rated in the legislature, and the court puts a bar over it, and also it is also a offense. It is a punishable offense, but only the house that the incidents happened can punish the accused. So this is all I want to say in this video. When the citizens of a country vote and elect representative on their behalf, the least they can accept is accountability. So the breach of privilege or contempt of the parliament house are incidents that indicate that the member of parliament have time and again failed to maintain the standard of the accountability. So making derogatory comments against each other, not attending committee meeting, or disrupting and dealing parliamentary proceeding in one way or the other, not only indicates a lack of accountability but also the lack of fear against the punishment for offences constituting a breach of privilege or content of the parliamentary house. So imposition of small fees, simple imprisonment till the session ends are not punishment that instills fear. So we need to have some reforms regarding these laws also. Now is the time regarding this. So I want to conclude this video by saying that please remember, this video does not violate any guidelines of Bar Council of India and does not solicit or promote any of the advertisement, and the sole purpose of this video is educational. And guys, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to see more of this content in future, and I'll be coming up with the next video very soon. And also please provide a feedback to this video. Thank you.